For this week's assignment, we had to create a color Photoshop image. So the first thing I did was go straight to Pinterest and try to find some inspiration. I decided that I wanted to do a hummingbird, so I typed that into the search bar and I started scrolling. At first, I didn't really see one that was popping out to me, but as you can see here, there are some that are pretty colorful with these nice purples and blues and greens, and I decided that's the bird that I wanted to do, but also I wanted to get a different pose than it's just sitting. Ultimately, I found this image and I thought this was the perfect bird. It had all the colors that I liked and it was in a great pose. So I took this image and I went to Photoshop. The first thing I did was make a base sketch. As you can see here, I got some of the more simple shapes that I found in the bird and tried to connect them. From there, I drew a rough outline of what the shape of the feather should be and where the placement should go. I didn't do an outline of the details of the feathers just yet. I just wanted a general block of the different colors that you saw on the bird. And since I did my sketch in blocks, I decided to start working in blocks with my color. So I start with doing the purple color of the chest, the green that I saw on the neck and back, the blue of the tails, and so on. Once I had the base colors down, it was time for me to start working on how to make these feathers. At first, I went to a few tutorials to figure out how exactly I should draw feathers, but none of these were quite giving the effect that I wanted for my drawing for a hummingbird because they have kind of smaller, almost pellet-like looking feathers. They kind of look like scales, and that wasn't what any of these tutorials was showing me. But I did watch a few just to get the gist of how to go about doing this project, but I really just went in with my own idea and tried to make the best shapes that I could to show the effect of the feathers. The first thing I did as an attempt was to just make these little dots all over the body. And as you can see, they don't quite look like feathers, but they are giving me that scaly effect that the hummingbird has on its body. And if we look back at the reference, you'll notice that the bird doesn't have the same type of feathers everywhere. So I did do kind of different styles of feathers on the different areas of the bird. So moving on, I worked on the wings, and then I went in and did the details for the beak and the eye. And I found that the eye looks a lot more detailed when I get closer than when I'm far away. I tried to do more contrast with the black on the eye to give it some dimension. I'm not quite sure if it looks as good far away, but I gave it my best shot. And now I did some more shading around the body. And around here is where I started to see the bird kind of come together. I went back over it with a larger pen and made the layer more transparent to give more dimension to the feathers. And then I turn off my sketch, and that's my final project for the bird. Of course, this image is kind of empty, so I went back in and made a background. At first, I had him just kind of floating some trees, but I thought that I could do more with this, so I added in some flowers. And I tried to find flowers that hummingbirds were attracted to, so it was somewhat accurate, but at the end of the day, I wanted there to be a diversity of colors, so I just kind of drew in those white flowers just so that it added some diversity to what was going on back there. But yeah, this is my hummingbird. Thanks.